Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here with a trumpet comparison. I've got a wonderful horn here from the Adams. It is the A3 Fulcrum SH. A la, little bit of reminder here of the recording with the offset second valve, forward balanced valve set, and third slide trigger. And of all things, I finally got it back, my Olds recording, which is quite similar indeed. Quite similar. Balanced model, and again with the third slide trigger. One of the biggest differences is the bell on the A3 is a 60 gauge Adams put on, and it is also a reverse lead pipe. So it is a little bit easier to play if you like the reverse lead pipe, and frankly I always have. The A3 is a little bit heavier. It does have a very heavy 60 gauge bell, as Adams says. And for that reason, I think that Steve Hubbard, I believe that he worked with Adams to produce this A3 Fulcrum SH. I think the SH stands for Steve Hubbard. Very, very good to move the valve set forward. Since the bell is heavy, it gives it a little bit better balance. Okay, I'm going to start off with a GR64MX. It's about the diameter of a box 7C, but a little more comfortable rim, and really am enjoying the GR mouthpieces. In fact, I'm going to use 3 GRs for this. I'm going to start out in the middle of the range, then I'm going to go with a deeper flugel piece. We'll be alternating between the Adams and the Olds recording, and we'll get started right away. Going to play a bouncy number, just the middle of the range. Start again, as I say, with the Adams A3 Fulcrum, and then we'll go to the Olds recording. All right, we'll go straight to the recording. I'll start off with a long tone. Should have done that to give you an idea what the horn sounds like. Both of these, and not all of the Olds have this, but this recording does have the rose brass lead pipe, which is nice. With the higher copper content, a little less brass, you have less chance of red rod. And that is also one of the details that Adams added for this A3. They also have the rose brass. In fact, if you could see it here, it is a darker brass than some of the other pieces of the material. So the lead pipe on the Adams is a rose brass as well, which is very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm going to go now to a very deep cup. It is the 64 FD. This is their trumpet flugel hybrid, and we'll see what you think. We'll go back to the Adams A3. Definitely a more mellow tone, isn't it? And since both of these are apt for the recording studio, you forgot your flugel that day, you'd certainly get a nice hearty tone with these, wouldn't you? Here's the Olds recording. Okay, let me take just a minute here before I go on to the last mouthpiece, which will definitely be more of a lead type. One thing I did want to mention, for a long time I would get in with a mirror and try and do a valve alignment. Very difficult with this offset second valve. Very hard to see what's going on. I thought I had a pretty good setup with the valve alignment, and then I got a lighted borescope, and I found this horn was way off in the valve alignment. And that refers primarily, but not only, to the pads that are under your top cap here. In fact, just pull it out real quickly and show you. It's these things here, this little pad there, that little tiny black pad. You look under, you might have, if your valves are not even across, that could be one indication. I did have one horn, in fact it was a DQ custom horn, and when I got the thing it was such a bad blow. I thought, man, I had traded a guy a nice B&S made horn, and I thought, boy, what a loser of a deal I did. And then I started looking into it, and the padding, they had so much under there, and that particular horn only required a little bit of padding. So valve alignment really makes a huge difference. And I just got this recording aligned properly when I sent it off for a little bit of bell repair, and I haven't been able to play it much since then. Okay, I'm going to use here the first GR mouthpiece that I got. It is a 64 MS, medium shallow, I assume that stands for. Amazing projection on this thing. And we'll go up at least a fourth over our first bouncy little number. We'll go back to that using the Adams A3 Fulcrum SH. It's surprising too, the A3, when I first got it, I really felt like I was fighting myself to get a clear tone. The feedback, because the bell is such a thick gauge, is not quite what I was hearing in my ears. In fact, I remember playing it for my son and he said, wow, that's bright. And I was thinking, bright? But you don't quite get the full aural effect in feedback with that very, very thick bell. It is quite an efficient blow. And the recording bell is not thin, live bell, but it's not a overly thick bell like the A3 either. Both horns just so nice, so many similarities, but definitely a little difference in tone. And we'll try the GR 64 MS with the Olds recording. at least try and give you a B flat. And that was with the recording. And here we'll go with the Adams A3. Two very fine horns. Again, you've got your Adams A3 Fulcrum SH, and it's such a similarity to the Olds recording. Very fine horns. Hope you've enjoyed this, folks. Look forward to the comments. If you had experience with the Adams A3 Fulcrum or the plain A3, certainly pitch in, let us know. And I know the recording is one of the sought-after horns in the vintage market, but they've really done credit in a lot of ways to the recording with this new Adams output. Thanks as always for tuning in. Love to have you as a subscriber. We appreciate the thumbs up and the comments above all. Take care of yourself and someone near you.